me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. Let's go.
All right, what's up, everybody? Hi, Jess. Hi, G. Uh, your eyes do not deceive you. It is just Robin and I here. Joseph has yet to show up. Uh, I don't know. I've sent him the link a little bit ago, and I have messaged him and tagged him and stuff. I expect he will see it and join here anytime, but I don't know that. So I don't really want to take a win by default, uh, but Joseph challenged me to this debate. Told me he could make me look silly and destroy me in a debate about objective morality. So um, that's why we're here. I think it's rude to do that, agree to it, and all that stuff, and then not show up. Um, but we'll see what happens. He may show up. We'll give him a few minutes to show up, and I guess if he doesn't, um, I don't know. I don't know. We'll either shut it down or make a live stream. Uh, what's up? What's up, Caitlin, Chloe, Shameless Steel? How's it going? Uh,
I've got somebody calling him.
okay, okay. If Joseph flakes, I want to see Robin versus Joe play. But hey, I will argue objective morality. I can do it. I have an argument for objective morality, but so yeah. I've been here since 2:20. I sent Joseph the links and everything. You know, I had actually sent him the links when I set up the stream, and I said I'll send you the link again right before the show. So all this was planned to go this way. He's just forgot or something. I don't think he's purposely flaking. But hi, Samami. Um, so Robin versus Joe, yeah. So and maybe during the, so what the plan is for today, if Joseph does manage to show up, is that we're going to do a kind of a relaxed style debate here. Openings and then talking to each other. That's pretty much it. The towards the end, we'll take any super chat questions or anything like that. But then I will switch this over to a members only stream and make it an open panel so that anybody in the chat that wants to come ask questions of me or Joseph can. You have to be a member for that. They start at 99 cents. So, I mean, if you really got something to say, even if you oppose my position, I think that you could, do that. So, but it's a way for me to give something special to the people who are members and stuff. So, I think that it's a fun thing to do to give special access to the members after the regular show's over. Now, your questions don't have to be super chats, and we don't get a lot of super chats here anyway. So I don't think that it'll be a problem. Like I won't have enough time to go through them or any shit like that. This isn't the line. This is my little tiny channel. So obviously, I will make sure that I read super chat questions and stuff at the end. Not trying to stop and do it during this. And other people, if you have questions, if I can catch them, I will for sure. In fact, I'll open a notepad file here so I can, if I see questions, I can copy and paste them over because Evie Mux doesn't have a good way to, like, I can star people. I can star your message, but it doesn't do anything.
Okay, we've got somebody trying to get a hold of him right now. He didn't
Okay.
answer his phone, so they called his wife.
Wow.
So,
But I hate to waste this. So it's well known for the people who watch this channel that I generally don't prepare for debates. Like I just kind of wing it. I may go like look at a couple articles or something, or like grab a couple sources of things that I know are going to come up. Um, uh, and I didn't. Well, I decided to do this one a little bit different, so I have actually written out an opening and revised it 2 or 3 times now, and and so I'm prepared to have. I was prepared to have this conversation. The opening is just me writing what I thought, but then I went and took some other stuff and added into it things, and so it's all my words. It's just
I
I
got plenty of toes. I was reading the chats. It's not the same guy, Case Randy. It's this is a different guy from last week.
So I don't
Sorry,
know.
Joe.
I don't know what the deal is with Joseph. I like I said, he challenged me to this. He said, "Let's do it," and he said, "Well, no." What he said is he would destroy me in a debate and make me look silly on the topic of objective morality. And I said, "Well, come do it, big boy." And
Okay,
that's what.
here's hi guys. Talked to Joseph's wife, and she's headed to the house to see what's going on. There's Stephen right there answering.
Okay. Thanks, Stephen. I'm
Yes.
not. Because he challenged me to this debate, I don't think that he's like flaking or anything like that. He's probably just forgot or got busy or something.
Something, yeah, because Joseph's not, I mean, I think I like
Yeah,
Joseph, so I don't
Joseph,
think he
Joseph,
just,
Joseph's been a nice guy for the most part.
yes.
But we'll. I'm keeping an eye.
Tsunami said for $5 you can see her toe.
Well, you got change for a 10.
And VS said he has plenty of toes.
Yeah.
VS.
I joke around and tell Laura all the time that we need to take pictures of her feet. Put on the internet.
That is so weird.
Yeah. No, I don't really think that. I just do it to mess with her. But
I mean, not. I've never seen Laura's feet. Really, actually, I
I
don't
told
think her if I did. But
things are rough. You're gonna have to get them toes out. Yeah, yeah. He still hasn't looked at the message where I sent the link. It's been almost an hour ago now, but still, that's okay. I mean, I don't care. I guess it's not a big deal. I can still, I guess if he doesn't show, I'll just give my opening since I worked on it, and it'll go unanswered, I guess. And I'll just stop there. I don't have. It's we don't need to do a bunch of hypotheticals though, because we'll know here in a few minutes. Because people have tried to reach him now to tell him to be here. If he doesn't show, he obviously doesn't want to show.
maybe he could have got maybe Eastern Central Time mixed up.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm late for my own streams all the time. I mean, I get it. I fell
Yes,
asleep on Dave's stream.
I was actually here early. I was actually here early.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Robin was here and ready.
Yeah. I usually sit down right as the opening is coming on.
Well, me and Joseph have talked without a moderator before, and I think we would be okay without one, honestly. But I want to
I wasn't gonna do much.
Yeah, I just wanted to make it appear fair, you know. Uh, Goes live like an hour late on our streams. Yeah.
That's what you call fashionably late.
If I'm more than a few minutes late, I usually cancel the whole thing.
Yeah, deviant. I agree. I like Joseph. Yeah, Joseph is about to be joining. He thought this debate was for 3 p.m. See that he got messed up on the time.
Yeah,
Did you tell him 3 p.m. Eastern time?
yeah. But
Um,
that, I mean, I understand getting that mixed up. Not a big deal. And uh,
I think
no
he's
rush.
speeding.
He can if he wants to get ready and join, he can. If we need to wait till it's 4 p.m. here, if we need to wait 45 minutes, I guess um, I don't think it's going to be an incredibly long debate anyway. But I imagine. Well, I'm not gonna poison the well here, uh, but the I have to. I want to get the. I wanted this to be the chance to try out switching from a live stream to a members only stream midstream, um, and let the after everybody's asked questions at the end, then let the members actually come on stage and ask questions if they want, or from the chat or whatever, and answer all of those. Of course, since it's a members only thing, but um, so if you're a member, save your questions till the end, unless you want them asked during the actual debate. And we'll we'll do super chats first if there are any. If not, I'll find some questions and answer them. And if there are none, we'll go straight to the members thing, and I'm sure a few people will want to join and talk with Joseph. He agreed to hang out for a little bit afterwards for that. So
The last thing I remember is just the engine cut out. If your check engine light comes on tomorrow, the repair could easily cost thousands. Is that transmission? It's an exhaust plate, broken axles. But with
you might have added a little conclusion.
for a costly repair.
Oh, that might have added a little.
Confusion. He's in a
Sorry,
different time zone.
I'm not sure how well this is going to go at all now that I read that sentence completely wrong.
Like Aunt Jer, that's my that elderly woman I sit with. Is it coming across too loud?
No, we could hear it.
I can mute.
Yeah, once we get going, you can just mute unless you need to say something or speak up or whatever. I had set, and I told Joseph, and he agreed to like 10 minutes opening and then like an hour of back and forth on this. I'm not going to use anywhere. Well, I'm not going to use anywhere near that much time. My opening's kind of quick and to the point and explains the problem. See, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to influence things beforehand here. What the hell am I talking about? Everybody here are pretty much already agrees with my position on this. Objective morality is something I said I would never talk about with another theist again because I think it's their worst argument. I think it's bad. So I said I wouldn't do this, but since Joseph
Never
said,
say never.
yeah, well, Joseph, I always tell these folks like, hey, if I'm wrong and you're so sure I'm dumb as you say I am, then I have this little channel here. Why don't you come over here and in front of all my friends make me look dumb? And that's
Hey, Deviant. Like Joe's in a different part of Kentucky, and we're in different time zones. So there's two
yeah.
time
I'm
zones
in
in
Eastern. He's in
Kentucky.
Central.
Yeah. So like Joseph is in the same time zone I am in Western Kentucky, but Joe is on Eastern time zone because he's over there right on the state line.
Yeah. 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 Half of Kentucky's in the Eastern time zone and half of it's in the Central time zone. I'm as far east. Well, I'm not actually as far east as you can go. I'm as far northeast as you can go. But yeah, that's correct, Sumami. They only feel there's objective moral morality because they can't step out of their own paradigm. Uh, yeah, um, yeah. See, I don't want to. I don't want to engage too much. While we're waiting, I don't want to. And plus, if I go ahead and make the argument now, then you got to sit and listen to it again for Joseph. This this is this is. I'll say this. This isn't going to go well for Joseph. I will say that much about it. Now, outside of that, we'll see. But that's why I don't discuss objective morality with theists anymore, though, is because that for the most part they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what that actually means and entails. But again, Joseph and I have interacted before, and we got along good, and we're able to have a good debate, and so I figure that'll be the case here. Are you muted or something, Robin? It looks like you're
Yes,
talking
I
about
said Aunt Jerry said talk about unicorns and mermaids until he gets here.
unicorns and
Good
mermaids.
idea.
Yeah, the magic pink unicorn that created the universe last week.
You've never
Yeah.
seen me mod. I'm not going to do much BS.
We've found unicorn horns all over the place,
And
especially
mermaid tails.
mermaid tails. Well, I mean, I think there's a conspiracy there. As upset as everybody got over the Little Mermaid movie, mermaids must be real, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of Kentucky isn't in the same time zone. Yeah. You need me to mail you a pumpkin pecan pie? You can fucking mail me one. Shit. I'll take that. Look at me. You think I turn down pies?
Yeah, Joe is definitely a pie person.
I'll dox myself and give everybody my home address right now.
Send me a pie.
Send me a pie. My sister used to always make pumpkin rolls that were really good this time of year and around Christmas. But she's not my sister anymore, so you're muted again.
I'm your sister now.
Robin's my twin sister.
Yes, twins.
Yeah.
Just 10 years near 15 years apart or whatever it is. Mom had a long pregnancy with Joe.
Yeah. They were mad. She was a piece that made it unrealistic. I was like, oh, okay. Green bean casserole, yeah, that's good stuff when made correctly. I don't know what we're gonna make for Thanksgiving yet. I imagine there will be a bird involved of some sort. May have to go out back and catch me a crow. See if I can.
Don't eat. You can't kill crows. Oh gosh.
Well, is there one that I can kill?
Duck, maybe like duck.
A duck.
Ain't y'all got turkeys up there in Eastern Kentucky? We
Oh,
got
there's all
turkeys
kinds of fucking
here.
turkeys here if you want to go look for them.
Yeah, you get you one of them little boxes, them little wood boxes, and sit there and make all that.
Look, Tsunami's freaking out in chat.
Yeah, don't eat crow. That's right.
We could do it the Kentucky way and get a possum.
He probably not smart enough to get a crow anyways. Not me. Crows are pretty smart. They're probably gonna stay away from him. You get no pies if you heard a crow, she said.
Wow. Fair enough. I'd rather have the pie than the
Yeah.
the crow, I guess.
I knew Tsunami wasn't gonna like that crow idea.
Yeah.
But
I
there's
don't.
plenty of turkeys.
I live on like I live. We don't get any ducks. that's the if there were ducks landing here, that would be acceptable. I'd rather have duck. But how big are the squirrels in Kentucky? Not very big.
Not as big as like we have like mostly red squirrels,
Yeah.
and they're smaller than the gray squirrels. When I moved to South Dakota, there were gray squirrels up there that were as big as my dog looked like.
Yeah. The squirrels here are mostly tail.
Yeah, they're mostly red squirrels, which are a
Yeah.
smaller species than the gray ones.
Now we have a lot of gray squirrels here.
Oh, really?
Where I'm
See,
at.
up like in South Dakota, when I moved up there was a lot of gray squirrels up there, and they were huge. Like Tsunami said, they were
So
huge. They were like 3 times bigger than my squirrels.
So if you go to like our central park, we have Ashland has a central park. There are big, huge squirrels in there, big gray squirrels. They people go. It's kind of a thing here. People go get fast food and feed it to the squirrels, which I'm sure is great for them. But why? I actually knew that, Jess. I watched a thing the other day that was talking about white squirrels up in your area. The difference between Appalachian and Arizona crows is crazy. They're scrawny out there, but the ones here get as big as chickens. They get pretty damn big here too. I've seen some crows that could pass as chickens, but the squirrels in Battery Park look like they belong to the damn mountains in Colorado with the marmots. Yeah.
I don't know, but my squirrels have been packing around all kinds of nuts all week, and my cats just sit in the window and just chatter at them and carry on, and they're so excited because they see all them squirrels running around out back.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Just told Sumami about the Festival for Crows. It's on. Yeah. College campuses. At Western and Eastern University in Kentucky, there's a lot of squirrels on both those campuses. Western has their campus has a lot of wooded area, like on parts, and then other parts don't. But yeah, I've seen a lot of squirrels at Western. I've seen a lot of squirrels at Murray down by Robin. Are you closer
No,
to Western?
I'm close. I'm closer to Western.
Okay.
Like I'm only about 45 minutes from Western. I'm
Murray's
in Central
down in Bowling Green.
Kentucky.
That's right.
Yeah, Murray's out all the way almost to Illinois. Like Western is Bowling Green.
Okay.
That's where the Corvette plant is too.
Western's in Bowling Green.
Yes.
I had it backwards. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went and visited those colleges when I was in high school.
Yeah, Western is it's it's a pretty good school. Yeah. My sister graduated from Western.
Yeah, I ended up when I started school, I went to Ashland Community College, which is here in Ashland, and my first my first semester they had like I had a I had an English class I had to take, and if you missed and now even my psychology class and the other classes, like if you missed more than 3 days of the class the whole semester, you got an F, um, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a syllabus. But um, so I switched after that first semester. I switched and went to Ohio University, where they didn't care if you showed up at all as long as you fulfilled the syllabus. Um, so there, I had a whole quarter, and it was in quarters, so I got through it a lot faster. So I had whole quarters where I didn't like. I showed up for the first class and the last class, and that was it. Uh, Ashland Community College is in Ashland, crazy. It's not called that now, so that's kind of that's what it now. It's part of UK, so it's UK Ashland Community and Technical School or something like that. And then they moved the technical school way out, way out in the middle of nowhere. So I don't know. I don't know why it's called what it's called, but what's the link? I sent
Wait a
Joseph.
minute. Okay, I'm sorry. Said Achilles would step in for Joseph until he arrives. LOL.
Okay,
I
oh,
don't know.
you behave.
Nah.
Oh, that's the wrong link. Hold on.
I don't know. Like, is Joseph gonna be much longer?
He still has yet to even look at my messages. So
But I know, but he knows he's. I may have to do more moderating between you and Achilles than I would have
maybe.
between you and Joseph.
Yeah, we haven't gotten along in the past very well.
I mean, I love Achilles. I love you too, Stephen.
I don't have any problem with any of them. I just I'm just here to do a thing, man. Uh, I normally wouldn't even engage in a conversation about objective morality. Uh, that's you if you want to, that's fine. I don't care, Stephen. It's whatever. I mean, if dude wants to step in and do it, that's fine. If well, he showed up fast, so
Oh, here we go. That's Achilles.
hey, can you hear me, Achilles?
Yeah, but I needed the picture, man. Where do you go without your avatar, you know?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
okay, you got it there.
yeah. I heard you say that we haven't gotten along. I was just saying about you, I just want you to know that you are one of those people that I enjoy because they can carry a conversation respectfully without throwing insults ad hominems all the time. So I always enjoy interactions with you, brother.
Okay, yeah, man. I'm not, obviously we disagree on some things,
Yeah, right.
and that's I don't see any reason to like hate people and everything for disagreeing on stuff. I just it none of this. So when we have these conversations, there are some things I'm passionate about, and that'll be obvious. But this isn't one of them. This is so this should be pretty cut and dry. But
All right.
uh,
On,
all
on the
right.
other
So
hand, I didn't even know about this. Yeah, Steven just asked me if I want to jump in until Joseph comes back, and I was like, sure, let's do it. I didn't even know there was a subject. I mean, I didn't know anything. So,
Okay, the subject Achilles is objective morality.
all right,
Um, that's what like sent Joe a request to have this debate. So
Okay.
But it's objective morality. We're going to do like 10, is it 10 minutes?
10-minute opening, back and forth for an hour or so.
Yeah,
Questions.
10-minute opening, and then sort of like a conversation. But since you're taking the, I hate to throw it on you, but since you're taking the affirmative objective morality exists, that was you going first, Achilles. Are you prepared to do that?
I'm definitely not prepared for 10 minutes because I didn't expect that. I was just thinking that we're coming into chit chat until Joseph makes it here, not like a formal debate.
Well,
Okay. Well, we can
if
wait a
if
minute and see if Joseph's coming.
Um, yeah,
I'll give Joseph 30 more minutes, since that'll be 3 o'clock his time. So if you want, though, instead of objective morality, we can talk about something else. That way we're not like, because if we go through all the arguments and then Joseph comes and makes the same ones and I have to make the same ones back, it'll just be the same thing twice. So um, maybe let's you know I don't care. I mean, shit. I don't care to. I don't care to do objective morality if that's what you want to do, but I will tell you, like, I did at least prepare an opening for this, and I am
I
pretty
don't
well.
think Achilles is like he doesn't have an opening for this. He didn't even
Well,
know
I
what the
know,
topic
it's
obviously.
all
was.
right.
So
It's all right. I don't. I can throw in a statement, and you can respond to that statement.
Well,
Like,
would you like for Joe to go first, maybe, and
yeah,
then you
sure,
could maybe make some
Yeah.
notes or
So,
something, or
sure. It's funny.
we'll flip the debate. Um,
Yeah,
well, let's just do this, because I don't want to do my opening and stuff, and then Joseph show up.
okay.
And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's an issue.
So I'll just frame it up here, and we'll talk about morality, since that's what it's about today. And if it gets rehashed, whatever, that's fine. I don't care.
Or we could talk
So
about dirt bikes. Achilles knows a lot about dirt bikes.
I would win that one.
I know a little bit about dirt bikes, but the
A little bit not good enough.
that I don't know I don't know a whole lot about different models and the inner workings and all that stuff. I know that's how we had fun as kids. So
Yeah,
taking it
Achilles
on.
used to race. Achilles used to race dirt bikes, right?
I didn't
Professionally.
race them. I took them through the woods, and we had this place that it was private land we weren't supposed to be on, but there was this big like plateau up there. We'd go up there and run up that thing and catch like 20, 30 feet of air off of it. Uh, that was a lot of fun, but
yeah, man.
we
Freedom.
broke a lot of stuff.
It gives you a lot of freedom, and you have this contact with nature, and you're at the same time having a blast. So that's how I ended up taking this to a professional level. I just loved it too much.
Oh yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Uh, I actually, so before I started having some health troubles and stuff, but I used to cut grass is what I did for a job, and it's not like uh, you know I have a degree in computer science, but I loved going and cutting grass, and I made good enough money to live off of it.
Hmm.
Uh, we had like 400 yards, so I cut grass all day, every day. And But yeah, so I get it. You can you get to, you do those things and you like it, and I loved cutting grass. It was fun for me.
Yeah,
Um,
and then when you are like getting really good at it, because you have to at some point buy the right gear, right?
yeah,
You can't cut grass with on 50 houses with the old mower. You need a better one. So when you end up buying all the gear, you're like, why don't I just turn this professional? I have the gear, you know.
yeah, no doubt. And well, I mean that's probably part of why I enjoyed the cutting grass is because I had professional equipment, commercial grade equipment to do it with, and so I got to ride around on a 0-turn mower all day. That's what was fun about it, and I got good at it, so I could make funny designs in yards and make them look all cool and stuff. I've got a whole
Awesome.
photo
Awesome.
album of landscaping and yard work that I did.
Yeah,
the
landscaping is awesome. I love watching people like transform houses and their yards. It's amazing. It's an art.
Yeah, I did a lot of different landscaping jobs too. I used to go bid big jobs and do them by myself or with another person, and did a lot of cool stuff. I've got pictures of all that stuff. I should post sometime. But anyway, so just to be clear, the position you're coming from here, you are a you believe in the young Earth creation narrative, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to clear that up before because there's things that come up about that when we talk about this. So instead of doing an opening and stuff that I've prepared, why don't we just we'll just talk about the subject in general.
Yep.
Do you actually hold the belief that objective morality exists and that it's from God?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Uh, Although these are two different sentences, the fact that I believe it comes from God is because I believe in the Bible. But the fact that whether an objective morality exists, I think is a more easy to arrive to concept, because at least through the Bible, there is a standard. You can say, I don't agree with that standard, but that is a comparison versus the standard. At least we have a standard, because if we don't, then it's my morality versus your morality versus Robin's morality, and everybody has different upbringings, so we all have a different morality.
How do you deal with the contradictions on morality in the Bible, though?
The more you end up studying them, the more you realize that they actually don't contradict. The contradictions exist on the level of those that are not trying to understand fully. They want to skim through it.
So okay, so let me give you an example that I think is a very clear contradiction.
Right?
And I use this a lot. I talk about this a lot on my channel, actually. But there's a commandment that says, "Thou shalt not kill." 2 pages later, God orders them to go kill everybody around them, and to do it in awful ways at times. Orders them to take all their stuff, even though the commandments say, "Thou shalt not steal." Or orders them to take the little virgin girls and keep them as spoils of war. This how because those are clear contradictions to me. They're not like, how are we looking further into it?
I understand where you're coming from with this. So the commandment is, "Thou shalt not kill." But the Bible also says that there is a time for peace and there is a time for war. And very unfortunately, in war, if you don't kill, you get killed. Ain't that the case? So in the case of those specific people that God told them to wipe them out, if you look into who they were, the Ammonites, and there's another name too, because it's twice where this is happening. They were doing some things that your morality would be against it. And God's morality is way above mine and yours. And when you are having sex in feces, and then 9 months later you go back to the same feces and there's a big fire and you throw that child in the fire, not only is it immoral, unethical, all that, but it's also disease spreading, because the people that God chose, the Hebrews, they should not be tamed by diseases that there were no cures for yet.
So we kind of jumped a couple steps over there, I think, but like on the answer to the original question about this is war, and they that it's okay for them to behave in that way. Whenever the Hebrews did this, they weren't actively at war with these people. God sent them because these people believed in something different. Now there were claims that they were sacrificing children, and okay, I'll give that. That's fine, but even if that's the case, how does killing all the women and children and men and animals, how does that? To me, that doesn't seem to solve that problem. That there's I still think there's clear moral contradictions going on there. I don't think saying, oh, it's war, because then you can just call anything war as an excuse for killing people. I don't think that's a fair assessment of what happened.
Okay, I would respond, but you're saying that what I'm saying is not fair, but you stayed on the first part, and that's the reason why I went to the other part, because God tells them that if you have any blood spilled on you, you have to make a tent outside of the city and stay there
For 7
for
days.
7 days.
Yeah.
So
That's ritualistic, though.
no, I don't think it is ritualistic. I think it has to do with making sure that you didn't get contaminated.
No. So what you're talking about is in the book of Leviticus, and the what is described in that whole thing is there's different things that they call unclean, because you need to be clean in order to be close to God.
Mhm.
And that ritual and many of the others starts with going and killing 2 birds and then going down to the creek and washing your hands and praying. And then you go and you stay in the place for so many days. And they also do the same thing to women for having a period. They weren't aware of germs or disease or anything that we know that's so.
Because they were not aware. Because they were not
Okay,
aware. Go ahead.
okay. Let me interrupt here. Like we're off in the weeds, I think, on this. And like, I want to, and I saw Aaron Reese make a good point. Like, let's define what we're talking about here, okay?
Okay.
Like, I feel like we're just going off in the weeds, and
Let's
like,
look. I'll just do the opening, okay? Let's just do the
well,
opening because we had no introduction that laid anything out. I'll do the opening. Achilles can just do a straight rebuttal against it instead of having.
and Achilles, remind everybody, Achilles was not supposed to be in this debate. He's not prepared. He did not prepare for this. He knew nothing about even the topic till he got here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, but we're
And
waiting on Joseph.
to be completely transparent, I have 2 pieces of a lens on my hand, and I'm trying to put them back together. I'm not the best on camera lenses. I'm telling you that for sure. They're too complicated, too tiny little stuff in there, but I'm trying to fix it. So my mind is there and here at the same time, because I was not expecting like, oh yeah, let's go in and have a formal debate. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
Well, instead of it
fun.
being so instead of this being like a formal debate, I'll give you my opening. It's short. It's a couple minutes, and instead of it being a formal debate, you can just respond to my position. How's that?
Yep.
That'll make it easier for you, and it'll let me put my position out there clearly.
Sounds like a deal.
I was gonna have y'all define it. So you give your opening, and then
Well,
I wanted to let like
it's
Achilles
in my
define.
opening. Is why I suggested that.
Okay, what your debate? Yeah, your definition is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and do that. Is that okay with you, Achilles?
Yes, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. So let me find the beginning here. All right. Is morality objective, like a built-in law of the universe, or is it something humans created? If morality were truly objective, that would mean that it's true no matter what anyone thinks. Even if every single person on Earth thought that murder was perfectly fine, it would still be wrong, because that truth would exist outside of the human opinion. And that sounds okay on the surface, but the second you ask why murder is wrong, you end up appealing to things like harm, pain, empathy, and suffering. All those are based on conscious experience. If no one existed to feel or value anything, the words good and bad wouldn't even make sense. So our sense of right and wrong ultimately comes from how actions affect beings that can feel, not from some cosmic rule book written about the universe. Now, what a lot of religious apologists try to do with this is they take their own moral instincts and they replace the statement "I think this is wrong" with "God thinks this is wrong," and this goes into what's called divine command theory, and it's just uh, that doesn't make these things objective. It just moves the subjectivity up one level. It's still humans deciding what they believe and then putting those words in God's mouth. Um, if we're going to say if we're going to say that God is the source of morality, then we've got to deal with the problem of evil. If God is all good and all powerful, why is there so much suffering in the world? If he can't stop it, he's not all powerful. And if he won't stop it, he's not all good. Either way, the idea that a perfectly moral God falls apart instantly. When you look at the Bible, supposedly the ultimate guide to objective morality, the contradictions are very apparent. The God excuse me, losing my voice. The God depicted in the Bible commands his followers to wipe out entire nations, take their land, keep the young girls as property, and enslave people. Those passages are in Numbers 31, 1 Samuel 15, Exodus 21, and there's lots more of these we can find. Yet modern believers agree that genocide, slavery, and owning people are wrong. So either morality changes or God does. And I imagine that the theist is going to say that the morality changes rather than God. That tells us something important, though. Morality clearly evolves. What's moral in one era can be a horrific crime in another. That's not because a God changed his mind. It's because we changed as humans. Humans developed empathy, fairness, and cooperation because they help us live together and reduce harm. We don't need to die. We don't need divine permission to know that kindness is better than cruelty or that freedom is better than slavery. We figured that out for ourselves, often in spite of religion, not because of it. So unless someone can show me a moral rule that's true for everyone everywhere, regardless of culture, emotion, or belief, objective morality isn't a universal truth. It's just people taking their personal values and giving them cosmic authority. That's it.
Okay,
Right.
so let me ask a question, Joe. So you're saying that even if God exists, that morality is still subjective based upon him being the subject, right?
Well, because God doesn't talk about morality in that way. God, it's crimes against God is what God talks about in the Bible. So, um, whenever you say that certain things are objective morality, you can't use murder because God commands murder. So if there is a situation, if war is the situation where murder is permissible, then it's subjective. That means it's subjective right there. The divine command theory is might makes right, and so God is all powerful and our creator, so has the ability to say what's good and what's right and tell us that. But there's no evidence of that. It's clearly projection. It's the theist who believes that projecting their own values onto the mouth of God because
Okay,
they don't agree that those things are bad, or they would
but
agree that those things are bad.
would you say though that if God exists and then object like morality
If
is
God gave
still
us the morals, it's
subjective?
still subjective. Yeah.
Okay, that's what the question. Okay, all right, Achilles. Do you disagree with that or agree with that?
There are multiple points I disagree with. As I said, I think a little deeper study on each case shows what the case is about. For example, uh,
Is
can
is
I,
there a context in which slavery is okay?
It is a different subject. I would give you a response, but I want to continue on the previous one.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt you. I
yeah,
shouldn't
yeah,
have done
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
The reason I made the pose is I was trying to remember without looking at the screen what your abbreviation is. I just remembered it by looking at the screen. So TKA. So I don't always say Kentucky Atheist, blah blah. So
You
my
can call me
brother.
Joe.
Okay, so Joe, I'm Achilles, right? If you don't recall. So the case is that God didn't instruct to take the young girls. He said, if they are virgin, you can take them because I'm wiping out all their nation completely. And if they're not contaminated by those sexual habits, because you said that they didn't know about germs, but that is funny. You also said that truth, if there is an objective truth, it must be there whether we know about it or not, whether we agree with it or not. It's there, right? The same
Right.
thing. The same thing happens with germs. Whether you haven't figured it out yet, the germs are germs. They are there.
No, 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 no.
Yes.
That,
You can die. You can die out of something you
Wait a
didn't
minute.
know existed.
that's a
Let
false
me let me get
equivalency.
let me get Achilles back though to answering that question, the first one. Like,
Sorry.
okay, Achilles, would you say that you believe God? Of course, you believe God exists. If God exists, then morality is objective based on God's, like His laws or whatever. That's your position, right?
We ended up having them written, but as Joe said, the truth is the truth, and even before we know about it, it still was the truth, the morality that God has, and then
Okay.
we got it in written form, right?
So just coming from God makes it objective, even though like that that's does it
Yeah,
change?
I think with the lack of the belief in a deity that created everything, and we're not talking about 50 deities that were banging each other like the Greek mythology. We're talking
Yeah,
about one entity,
Well,
all right? I'm
yeah.
I
sorry?
like the Greek. Yeah.
I was just
Yeah, yeah.
joking about what you said.
Yeah, I didn't catch the joke. I wanted to hear it. So it's okay.
I said, well, damn, all the gods aren't having orgies. Uh,
Yeah, if Zeus could keep his in his pants, whatever it is, we wouldn't have Greek mythology at all. Like,
so can you address the problem of evil?
yes, um, there was a rebellion, there was an issue, and the issue comes from free will. God will not force his will upon his creation, and that leaves room for somebody to say no. And an angel said no,
Uh,
and that is the source. It is not that God created evil, it is that somebody chose evil, and now we get to be tested in a spiritual battlefield between good and evil.
the Bible plainly says that God created everything, including evil.
Yes, because he created Satan, but in who rebelled, but in the creation, which I believe in, everything on the Garden of Eden before Satan's rebellion did not have evil in it. That started happening from the rebellion. So, by responding to this, before you give me a response to that, I would like to ask for this. Can we go sentence to sentence in your opening statement, and I can tell you pause here so I can respond to each
Sure,
point?
sure. We can break it down into pieces if you want.
Yeah,
Let's
so
see.
you can read again, and I'll let you know when to stop.
So, okay, that'll work. We'll do it that way. I was going to say I have because the way that I wrote this was I had certain points, premises, if you want that that I was going to make throughout it, and so there are It is broken up that way, actually. But so, anyway, I'll go and you can tell me. If morality were truly objective, that means that no matter what anyone thinks, like if every single person on earth thought murder was fine, it would still be wrong because the truth supposedly exists outside human opinion. That's the position of objective morality. It sounds cool. Well, we can skip that part.
Yeah, I'm not
Well,
posing. I'm not posing you because I think we addressed this already, and I do agree that when an objective morality exists, it exists way before getting conceived by man. But before we got here, I could add something though. Before we got the Bible, me as a Gentile, before we got the Bible, because the Hebrews were already receiving it, the Greeks, that was what philosophy was about, was arriving to truths with different methods of deduction, logic, mathematics sometimes, and trying to arrive to universal truths. That is another term for objective truth, universal truth, right? That it stands, and all we got to do is figure it out. So I agree with that opening, the thesis statement of your opening. I agree.
You agree with my opening? Is that what you're saying?
I said with the thesis statement of
Yeah,
your
yeah.
opening, which is not
Sure.
exactly a thesis statement. The thesis statement comes at the end, and it supposedly it like carries the whole message in one statement. No, this was the introductory sentence, and on the introductory sentence, we agree 100%.
Yes.
An objective
Yes,
truth
he
is
agreed
objective.
with the part. Yeah, he
Okay.
agreed with the part that said that if you like that objective morality would exist outside of the human mind. Like,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what he said.
Yeah, that was just me defining what objective morality was. I was just
We agree on the definition.
so
Good job.
so do you think that is God required for morality in your opinion, or is morality something that exists independently of God?
Yeah, we gotta have a standard. And if there is a creator, and I'm bringing a big if here because I know I'm talking to two atheists. Let's say if, let's not take my position that he exists. All right, if he exists, then this is his world. Then if this is his world, then I should figure out the what and the whys, so I don't disappoint him.
Well,
I'm renting here. It's not my house.
my question is though is the opposite of what you're saying. If God does not exist, is that morality still objectively true, or is objective morality dependent on God's existence? Does objective morality come from God, or does God live within the confines of morality?
Okay, so in the definitions phase, there is a difference between truth and morality. I did agree with you on the introductory statement on truth, all right? But morality, yeah, I do think that if you don't have one standard as a creator, everybody can come up with their own. I mean, for the Hindus, what we Greeks believe might be silly. They might be, I know they're doing some stuff over there, like 13-year-old girls getting married with people they don't know when they're at their 70s because their dad wants them to. For Greeks, this is not moral.
Yeah, right.
But it is subjective. It would be subjective. If we have different deities, we have different moralities. So that's why, yes, one God would be necessary for an objective morality.
Okay. So, if there's no God, there's no foundation for right and wrong, and everything just becomes subjective relative morality, right? Is that
Right.
okay?
Right.
so I think that kind of disproves the position, because it's if morality depends on what God commands, then it's grounded in reason, or it's not grounded in reason. Sorry, uh, and that makes it still a subjective thing. So
Wait,
God
right?
God doesn't
No
tell
problem.
those things to the Hebrews in order to set down and in writing what morality is. I believe that those things were all about obedience. And
You're bringing up a very important point here. There are some things in the Old Testament that, for today's standards, I don't consider them to be moral, but it's the Jews that said, "What? A law? Yeah, sure, bring it on. We can do it." And God said, "Okay, if you can do it, here's a list of 500 different things.
yeah,
Good luck." So yes, there was a little bit. It wasn't the job of the law was to show, and we're talking about the law, not the other things that happened with the other nations. The law, right? The job of the law was to show how impossible it is to follow it, so you can cry out to a Messiah.
well, so that's not objective morality. That's a divine dictatorship, is what you've described.
Well, they wanted to be God's people, and God said, "To be my people, here's the list of things that you need to follow." And He did it on purpose, because His plan, which is set out from the beginning of Genesis, where He told the snake what is going to happen with the coming of the Messiah, that came way before the law, was that the Messiah would be brought in. So to
Right.
so just to make this real easy to understand, not you, I think you understand it, but for anybody that might be listening, the law is like the mirror, where you go to the mirror and the mirror tells you you need shaving, but it can't shave you. Similarly, the law cannot save you.
Yeah.
It can show
So,
you where you are not um, on par with, right? But not be used to be saved, because it's impossible to follow. But again, that is the law, and we're into morality. So, Mike, to you.
so I think that causes you a. I think taking that position, which is fine, I guess, as far as like for a believer. Um, but morality, like morality, doesn't seem to be based on who gives the orders. It when we look at how morality has evolved and changed, even from the times described in the Bible, if we're gonna even give all that's true. Morality has to be based on consequences of actions and how they affect conscious beings. Um,
Um, I need a,
because
I need a second. I need a second. My phone rings.
okay,
I'm sorry.
only Jesus shaves. Yeah, that was the question at the end of my opening BS. Is can you give me a any objective moral statement that
I'm back.
all right. So also, just real fast, I won't spend long on this, but I want to hit on something that you said a minute ago.
Hmm.
Um, you were talking about other cultures and how they do things different, and that this subjective morality is just whatever they do is right.
To their
Uh,
eyes, yeah.
I think that's a misunderstanding of what subjective means. Um, Subjective morality isn't based on just whatever a person wants. It's based on the experience of suffering and joy, and even the way that our brain processes moral questions. is it compares it to other moral values that you hold, and that's how you make those decisions. This is all published neuroscience stuff. I can give you links if you need them. But
Well,
um,
according to neuroscience, love is just a bunch of chemical uh, reactions in your body. So
well, you said it's just a bunch of chemical interactions, and I
yeah,
don't think that's. I think that,
I have been in love in my life, and my man, I don't know, chemistry had nothing to do with it. I
well, I
actually
mean, you're
fell
very
in
much
love.
describing subjectivity right now. So I
Yeah,
don't.
but I fell in love with somebody I hated. I did everything in my power to push her away. And when I managed to push her away, I was in love with her. So you figure that out, Mr. Chemist. Or not
The,
you, the one that wrote that.
that exchange of chemicals that you're calling just some chemicals um, is also an understood thing. And
An understood thing, my man.
just hold on, just
Yeah.
because chemistry is behind it doesn't mean that it can't result in you having those strong feelings. That's you're trying to minimize the chemical interactions by saying just chemical interactions and then trying to accentuate that's not a word. Trying
Insinuate.
to
It
trying
is.
to focus more on the feelings that you get from it. Whenever those two things, we know that they're connected. So you can say God makes the chemicals move if you want, but it is those chemicals. No matter that is an objective truth. We understand that.
Objective truth, according to those that can't even see those chemicals reacting, right? That are suspecting they are.
They have
Uh,
seen this happen.
Yeah, but you'll find me disagreeing on a lot of stuff with today's narratives, science, even some medical issues. And our separation grew much, much larger in 2020, right?
Sure.
Because I think we objectively got lied to in 2020 by people that took an oath that they wouldn't lie to us.
Okay,
Um,
let's not get off in the weeds about that. Okay, like
Yeah,
let's not get off in the weeds about that.
but I think Joe gets me why I'm, what I'm insinuating here. So
I
I think,
know. Yeah, let's just not get off in the weeds about that. Okay, like, um, would you say, Achilles, that God, like, I'm sure your belief, I know that, and I know it is because I know you, but your belief is that God like created our bodies and like designed our bodies. You know,
hmm
I would say so. You agree that God used like hormones and chemicals in our design
hmm
that influence like our moods and our like
yeah, I agree. I
you
agree.
agree with that?
With what you're saying, and
Okay.
I understand what Joe was pointing to with you
Okay.
rephrasing it. I agree. Yes, the
Yes.
mechanism.
Yeah. Joe was just saying that. Yeah, he was just saying that if God designed us or evolution designed us or whatever, if we then
It,
we
it
still
works.
use
It works.
we still have we still have chemicals that affect our brain and our moods and stuff. And actually, like I don't think that Joe is like demeaning love because Joe's been with a partner for a very long time and I'm sure he loves her very much.
we're getting close
And
to
so
15 years.
yeah. So like you know just like that's the only thing he was saying is that it is a result of like chemicals and stuff and whether you think God put the chemicals there or evolution, then you agree with that, right?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, that's good. All right.
Yeah, I mean, so my real question about all of that is the reason that we even get into all that is like when we see we have things, and I have studies. If you'd like me to, I have slides and everything I could have done with this. And if you want me to show you the stuff, I will. But
Yeah,
I'll
please
just
don't,
kind of
because I
briefly
don't have,
paraphrase would be
yeah, I
easy.
don't have a counter presentation.
Yeah. So I'm not, because I don't want it to. I'm not trying to just run over you. I'm trying to have an honest conversation.
I appreciate it, but I don't think I can be run over, even if you have a presentation. So if you want to bring it, bring it.
Well, no. What all I'm getting at is I wasn't going to. I'm not going to come on here and have this debate where I've got all these things ready and worked out and show slides and all that stuff, knowing that you don't have any of that. Like
Yeah,
knowing
appreciate
that you didn't even have a chance to have that. So I don't think that's a fair way to have. Like, because that would be an actual debate, and more of what we're doing here is kind of conversation now
it.
about it.
Right.
So I'll just kind of paraphrase with the caveat that I do have the papers on this. So scientists at Boston College did what's called the morality lab, and this occurred over a number of years, and it also included data from other peer-reviewed studies that are the accepted consensus. Um, what they did here is they did a number of different experiments with people. They had people who had lesions on their prefrontal cortex, and whenever these people would first have these lesions, they would talk to them about these moral questions and stuff. And they found out as the lesion did more damage to their prefrontal cortex, their answers about morality changed significantly from things that they cared more about, like their kids and stuff, to a more utilitarian view, to where they cared about the bigger picture of the world and stuff like that. Their morality literally changed to something different.
Mhm.
They also they interviewed people, and they asked them questions based on uh, they would give them like multiple choice, and the answers were like, are these two people both wrong? Are they both right? Do I agree with this person? You get what I'm saying? Like, choose a side of the argument. And these arguments were purposely worded in ways to sway towards objective or subjective morality. And what we find is that humans, first of all, they don't necessarily believers in all humans. Objective morality is an intuition that we all have through evolution, and it has a value that allowed us to have more descendants by having
Okay.
a moral code. So
Short question. I was following so far.
yeah,
How does evolution creep in?
so evolution is responsible for
No, I
us
think that's reading into the fact.
evolving empathy. Nothing. All of these things take place in a biological body, and I'm of the opinion that nothing in biology makes sense except in the light of evolution. Um,
Well, now you said it right. You said I'm of the opinion. I'm just wondering, how did those scientists, unless you added it, how did those scientists arrive to the fact that evolution is the one that created the mechanisms and all that? If
but
you added
because
it, that's okay.
because we see the evolution of we see the evolution of morality in humans as well. That's as we started to work together. Again, we have biological reasons that are triggering all of this. So as we start to work
That
together and
doesn't
figure
that
out,
doesn't mean they evolved though. They might have been put there in place
Okay, let's
as they are.
let Joe finish your point, and then let Achilles respond.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
so
Okay. Thank you.
it's the very fact that we see we see morality following that same trajectory as evolution. When we look back in history, we see things that would be completely unacceptable today, such as slavery and stoning women and bashing babies' heads against rocks and all that stuff. Nobody would say that that's okay today, because evolution evolves with our morality evolves with us, and all of that. There are studies, and all of this is laid out of how evolution is or God, I keep saying evolution. How morality is a necessary thing in our evolution for us to be where we're at today, and you can follow those steps along. But
No,
all of this
no,
science is laid out.
I think the opposite is true. I think the less moral you were, the better the chances of survival.
Well, that's
Oh,
incorrect.
wait, just wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can like straighten this out. Okay, like I understand what Joe was saying. Joe, like humans, like Homo sapiens, are probably the you know the species that has actually like been most successful.
Can I
Like
interject
like
something that you're getting wrong about my argument here? Just real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
So this doesn't just apply to Homo sapiens, because if it did, your claim of objective morality would have to apply to all species of humans. So we're not talking just Homo sapiens.
Okay, I was
Morals
just going
evolved
to use that as a.
before moral,
I was just going to use that as a point to to make a point with him to
yeah,
show him what you were saying.
morality we believe evolved before Homo sapiens. Empathy,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, but I was just going to use that as a point. Like,
Okay,
I, I think what he's saying is that like the success that we have enjoyed as a species has mostly been like a result of our cooperation with each other. And so, do you not agree, Achilles, that like we have been very like cooperative with each other, like to come together and form
I
civilizations
Yeah,
and
I think that that cooperation came way later. I've heard so many things in these 2 minutes that I could argue with. First off, if before Homo sapiens, before, according to the theory of evolution, before even humans, if a specific animal considered the feelings of the mother of another animal, that animal would have been extinct by today. But the lion will not manage to catch the mama zebra, and it's gonna catch the little zebra. It doesn't carry much empathy when it comes to survival and to feed its own. And in our eyes, this might be seen look immoral, but it's in
so
its eyes, it is not immoral at
so
all.
you're projecting your moral values onto animals.
And I can continue and say that as according to your guys' theory of evolution, um, the tribe that was closer to some natural resource was the tribe that would survive the longer until another tribe came along and killed every single one of them and took over that
Was it the
natural
Hebrews this
resource.
time too?
I'm sorry.
Did God tell this one to do it too?
Um, I'm proving your point that morality did not evolve through evolutionary mechanisms.
No, no,
Because by the definition of evolution, there can't be morals because
wrong.
whoever has morals ain't gonna procreate.
I
So
think
so so
I think we can debate like objective morality though without debating evolution.
well,
Like
I'm gonna
I
take it
didn't bring
back.
it in. I'm not the one that
I
brought it
know,
in.
I,
I know.
I'm
I'm
I,
just saying.
I brought it in for a reason though, and I'm gonna take it back right now to where it needs to go. I promise. I promise there is a reason for it, and here it is. So you're misunderstanding the claim. Um, the reason that I mentioned evolution in this is because we didn't evolve morality. That's not what I'm claiming. What I'm saying is, as humans, all species of humans evolved. They developed empathy. That's the thing that is the basis for this. We are a social species by instinct. That we understand. So whenever I talk about that, the point is that with something as simple as empathy added into this, and we have an explanation for how that got there, morality itself is a social evolution because it's a construct of that. It's a byproduct of the mind of that empathy that we share with other humans, of that social networking that we share. It's a byproduct of that. And then the reason that I use the same word evolution with morality is because then it continues to evolve socially throughout it based on our evolutionary empathy that we acquired at some point. So
All right. May I rebuttal this?
yeah, go ahead.
If that is the case, if I have a completely different creation of empathy, I don't want to use the word creation. I'm looking for the right word. Forgive me for translating in my brain. This is not my native language. The appearance, let's say, of empathy, I have a completely different view of how it got here. All right. I think the
Sure, 'cause
Bible.
you
I
don't
think the
accept it.
Bible is a book of empathy, especially the New Testament, especially the law that given to us by the Messiah. Right. Not necessarily the law given to the Jews, but definitely the rest. But according to your theory, if it evolved somewhere along the line, which was after the survival wars, we put it that way, right? At some point, we reached the point and we were like, okay, I think we can work better together, right? Then why my brother and my sister here, why the F is it deteriorating again? Why doesn't anybody care for anybody around them? Because
That's just not true.
oh, it is
That's a
100% true.
straw man
You live in the era of
of
narcissism.
culture, I guess.
You live on.
There
Don't
are
talk to
various.
me. Don't talk to me about culture, brother. Because if a brother here in Greece is fallen on the ground, we're not stealing their wallet, right? We pick
And
them up.
neither am I.
Nah, the U.S. is pretty known for. I'm sorry, you're having a bad day,
You're
but
using
I'm
your
not having a
Whoa,
bad
whoa,
day.
whoa, whoa,
against the
whoa, whoa, whoa,
U.S.
whoa, whoa,
to
whoa, whoa, whoa.
discount.
Like there. Let's just say that there are moral and there are people who will steal like all around the world. Yes, the United States has a lot of crime. It also has a lot more people than most
I
places,
agree,
and
and you know
and
that.
there's like many cultures instead of just like
I know, I
one
agree, I
shared
agree. The reason I
culture.
said
Okay.
that, Robin, is because to what I was saying, I received the response, "Oh, that's a cultural thing," and I took that as an offense. As
Yes. Okay.
all right,
No,
so I responded to
I didn't
my
say that.
American friend, don't point your finger to Greeks. Let's examine the finger." Right?
Yo, I don't think he meant Greeks or like
He said it's a
thieves.
cultural thing. I don't know what to expect.
No,
What you
no, I
understand?
didn't say it's a cultural thing. I started a sentence and I used the word culture and I didn't finish it, and then you tried to argue
Okay.
that
All
empathy
right.
doesn't exist.
Well, let's let everybody finish your point, and then like the other one speak. Um, so, like, did you finish your point,
Um,
Achilles?
yeah, yeah. If go Achilles, I've been kind of like pushing the points through. Is there some point you want to make here?
No, I just posed the question that for me shows that empathy did not evolve because if it did evolve, it stopped. I don't know why, but it
So
has
it's your
stopped.
argument. It's your
And
argument that
the
there's no
response
Wait a minute,
and
Joe.
and the response that I received on that was nah. So to that I can't say much. And when I said
empathy.
yes, it does, the second response I received immediately is that it's you're seeing it around you probably in a sense. So my point was that we live in a time where worldwide narcissism reigns supreme and empathy is way more rare. And not only is it rare, those that are empathetic are suffering because of the narcissism around them. So if you're in a work environment and you are the empath and there are narcissists around you, you're the one that is not gonna go high up because they're gonna. So it's like a survival of the fittest kind of thing these days.
So, so
Okay, thank you. All right,
what
go
you're
ahead, Joe.
describing is a sociological situation here, and
You
first
go
of
ahead.
all, fir- first of all, you argued that empathy doesn't exist
It doesn't
by
exist.
saying empathy couldn't have evolved, and then talked about there are still people who are empathic. So you've said nothing to deny that empathy evolved. Instead, you've argued that because bad people are bad, that there is no empathy, and that's just simply not the case.
No, that is straw manning what I said. I said that if it had evolved, then why did it stop evolving? I didn't say it doesn't exist. And I
It
didn't say
never
it
Yeah.
doesn't exist because there are bad people out there. I say that I grew up in this world. I actually experienced both the US and my country. And I see that if you went back 50 years, uh, empathy and morals were on a way higher level than what they are today.
Okay. So you're right. Your belief is that even if it evolved, it has like stopped,
Yeah,
like it's
right?
not evolving. And I would tend to agree with you about the fact that I think that the world has become a little less empathetic in the last few years, especially my country. Um, but
I disagree 100% with both of you. Um, I think that the world is more empathetic now than it ever has been. There's been huge amounts of money and effort spent to feed people, provide water. There's YouTubers that spend their whole time only doing things to provide to these third world nations and stuff. Um, uh, Assistance to third world nations or was, I guess, at a high, all time high. So what you're saying is both factually wrong, and it's you're also at the same time making a fallacy.
I think you are don't listen to this word, don't get it wrong. You are confusing two terms. I'm not saying you are confused, but in this, what we're talking about, I think you are confusing two terms. Um, Empathy growing or the means of providing it growing. The means, oh, yes, we have never seen a world where the ability to, let's say, send money to Haiti, it had never been easier for me being in Greece. I would actually have to transfer them being in a boat, in a ship, and go to Haiti, right? Right
Yeah.
now, with all the digital world that we have and the internet, it is way easier to show empathy. Then why, if you add that, why is this world turning into such a narcissistic shithole?
That's just your opinion of this world.
Right?
To take some problematic thing that's going on in your life at this very moment and then apply it to, or some problem that you see, and then to apply it to everyone in the world and say that all these things are gone is contrary to what we actually see. That's why I gave those examples, because
I don't think
you can
I don't
say that. Hold
I,
on, let me
I
finish the sentence. You can say that those things are just based on they have the resources or whatever, but the truth of it is that there are empathetic people involved in that all the way. Not all of them have to have empathy for others. Not they could be doing it for a tax write-off.
I have
Um,
an example that I think you and I can agree with.
Well,
Uh,
let me say the last few words.
Go
But
ahead.
the position you're trying to take is that if it exists that somebody's doing something for some other reason than empathy, then empathy isn't really a thing. And I don't.
That's not my
You're
position.
no, I don't think you said that. I think you're trying to imply it. I think you're
No,
trying to imply that if I can say it's resources, then it's only resources. Then I don't have to count the empathetic people involved.
no. As an empath myself and an INFP in the MBTI, I see everyone wherever I can reach. That deep down they worry more for themselves than others. It is a thing that I wish I didn't see. I don't choose to see it, but it is the way I'm built. When I do things, I don't do them for the benefit of that thing. I'm doing it for helping somebody, and I don't see it around me so much. Like if somebody does something so he can take credit for that something, that's not empathy. That's still narcissism. It's called communal narcissism. You still do it so your name can go through.
Um, real quick, let me interrupt. For those of you in chat talking about Saturday Night at the Atheist coming on, I'll be sending you there at 5 o'clock. It'll. Um, I didn't do the members thing for this because it didn't go the way that it was supposed to go, but we'll get that in another time. But uh, were you done? Can I respond?
I think I'm just hoping that you heard me. That's all.
Yeah. No, I get it. I just don't think that. So what you're arguing is actually huge support for a subjective morality, though, because you're saying that before the world was better and everybody had empathy and did these things, and that it's changed to where so many people don't because they hold different values. Everyone has their own moral code, whether it's based in religion or secular humanism or whatever the case may be. Everybody holds certain values. And so what you're actually describing, if I disagree with the premise, but let's pretend it's true and give it to you. Even if that's the case, you're actually making quite the case for subjective morality.
No, I don't think that what I said.
How did it change then if God gave us this moral code and we all accepted it and it was written on our hearts, then how then are we changing to something different? How is that
we
explained?
didn't all accept it, and we tend to see that those that are of the moral code, they don't go out uh, exploiting others because they believe that there is somebody watching them.
So
Now
let me.
I ain't gonna say that there aren't preachers out there that have taken a lot of money and bought airplanes, right? There are
Right.
people like that, all right? But as a philosophical premise, the fact that you know or you believe that there is a judge that is gonna judge all your actions one day kind of changes the way you behave. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can agree on that.
Yeah, no. So in these studies I talked about, where they studied where people's um, moral subjectivism or objectivism came from, when they studied this, um, one thing they found is that when people were primed with divine things like that, things about God and that somebody's watching and all those things, that it caused everybody to skew their answers towards moral objectivism. Many people who are not even atheists hold objective morality is true, and I can give you an argument for objective morality that you'll have a hell of a time with. But the problem with that is that objective morality, I could argue, but I'm going to use evolution as the basis for it, so that would be a problem for you. But um, the I don't think that. I don't. I think that because we can change people's morality with just putting some electromagnets on their head and make them have a whole different morality, um, it is a clear picture that this morality is just formed within our brains. That there is no objective truth that you can study, that you can assess about morality.
I disagree. I
You take
disagree.
it.
I'll
You would
tell you
have to
why.
take it.
I'll tell you why if you're done.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because it only proves that if you mess with the brain, weird things can happen. Because on a psycho killer, um, usually there is something wrong, off in their brains. So if I can actually make that happen with uh,
So
electrical wiring, that doesn't mean that morality changed. That
so
means that I managed to change that person.
so let me explain a little deeper because that's not correct. Um, so there's a neural network in your brain that sends electrical signals back and forth, and it's a very complex thing, right? You agree with that statement? Like
Yeah,
your
yeah.
brain has this neural network, and whenever you're asked a moral question, um, your brain tends to the way that your brain deals with that moral question is it sends electrical signals to different parts of the brain to compare it to other moral questions that moral positions that you may hold. And if you hold like a basic moral position of killing people is wrong, it kind of categorizes it and compares it to those whatever positions you hold. That's why in children will, even if they don't believe in God, will stick to an objective morality exists because they're very. I'm not saying they claim objective morality exists. I'm saying that they behave and answer things in a way as if there is an objective morality. And then as people get older, unless they're primed with religious belief or some kind of cultural thing that plays into it, unless they're primed with those things, people overall tend to shift more to a subjective view of morality. So that's why when I say, would you agree with me that stoning women for minor crimes is wrong, or owning women as property is wrong, or slavery is wrong, or any of those things? When I say that, you would agree all of those things are wrong. But at one time, the people that believe the same things that you do would have said that all those things are perfectly moral. Do you
Okay.
want to argue that those things are moral?
No, I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. I
So
mean,
how did our morality evolve to a point to where we no longer agree with the morality laid out in the Bible?
um, first off, we never got to go through statement by statement your introduction because you are addressing now something that was there, which was like the next sentence, and I wanted to get to. The
Well,
thing is,
let's
the
do it.
thing is that the Bible is not the one that brought slavery. I understand that for the
No,
atheists, you're pointing the finger there,
no,
but
God
the
just condoned.
Bible started appearing, especially the New Testament, but the Old Testament too, when slavery was a thing all around. When there were wars, you had a choice. You could either kill everybody after you won, you took over the city, or you could have them survive and be slaves. And it had been happening in the ancient Greek times, in the Roman times.
Is
So,
it?
so, so the Bible comes. The Bible comes at a time where things were like that, and it is addressing a couple of things. But God is telling us that we are free, and it's not endorsing it, but it is giving some empathetic instructions on how to treat a slave or how a slave should be treating their master. And
God
don't and
constantly
don't
violates free will, so
and
that's a silly thing to say. First of all,
and don't fall for just finishing up. Don't fall, you or anybody else, in the trap that because the same word was used for ancient Greeks having slaves to what the United States did with Africa and Germany and the UK and Italy with
no,
Mussolini.
sir, they had chattel slavery too. Don't.
Uh,
That's not true that they were indentured servants. That's an apologist
that they
lie.
were what? That they were what?
That they were just indentured servants and that slavery wasn't the same as chattel slavery in America. Chattel slavery in America was based on biblical slavery. That's how they made it.
That is the excuse they gave, but nowhere in the history of
The Christians are on record create doing it.
never in the history of mankind have people gone to other nations to pick up slaves and build their city. It related to
That's
war.
exactly what they did.
All right,
It
okay, all right,
related to
hey,
war. It related to a declaration of war and people fighting, and then the result was slavery. There is a difference.
okay. Can I had a question that came up in the chat. Since you're going to send over to Dave's thing, can I ask the questions that have come up in chat?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. It's deviant. It's for you, Achilles, and it was
Hello,
deviant.
Lillian.
It was Miss Deviant Outcast,
Hmm.
and her question was. But what about us who don't believe in your God and thus can't and don't hold to God's morality? How is it that we still show empathy, morals, and ethics?
It is the fact that God said that those that didn't have um, accepted the word and the law, the new law of Jesus, they still have that law written in their hearts. We have a heart that does understand what is right and what is wrong, and deep down we kind of get it that, yeah, that's wrong, I shouldn't do it, I shouldn't lie about that specific thing to that specific person, because if she knew it would hurt them. We kind of have that moral code, but the issue is that you will be judged according to it, and you cannot be perfect. The difference with the biblical understanding of it is that we give it all to the hands of the deeds of Him and not us. Because if it was up to us, we're definitely not super moral. I can never
Okay.
claim that I'm the most moral person in the world.
Okay. All right.
How can
Thank
I?
you.
Yeah, how can I enter heaven if I can't claim that? How can I enter heaven? I can enter heaven with His actions, not mine.
Okay. Thank you. Now, Joe, I'm sure you have a different opinion on how we are able to have ethics and morals. And so, would you like to answer, answer Deviant's question too?
So I think all of that rolls into one thing of why we ought to do good, a philosophical question about morality, and we should do good because our actions affect people's lives. We don't need a cosmic referee to know what kindness improves well-being and how cruelty destroys well-being. Morality comes from empathy and reason and the social nature of humans. I think that. I think that you don't need the threat of eternal punishment for you to care about others, and that this all predates any belief in Christianity or any appearance of Yahweh or Jesus or any of that, and all of these things existed separate of that. So again, and if you're asking how they're physically formed, I think it all starts with the empathy, which allowed us to have more descendants, which caused it to be passed on genetically.
All right. I think there is a false premise on what you said. It's not that real Christians, at least, reborn Christians, because Jesus said, if you're not reborn, you don't see the kingdom. They don't do it because they're afraid of hell. They're doing it in order to satisfy and make their daddy smile. The fact that I'm not going to hell is a done deal that does not relate to my deeds.
Well, so that's actually a point that I would somewhat agree on. That there are a lot of people that do it just to satisfy God, and I think that if you look at like Hitchens, where religion poisons everything, what they are willing to do to satisfy God through one of his most popular things, genital mutilation, the things that people do to do that don't fall within morality. That's so appealing to God in that case is appealing to a God that is definitely not all good.
And let me use this to bring it back to something else we were talking about. If you're doing it so you're not going to hell, here's where narcissism comes in again. You are looking after your own butt. So you're being good to others, not for the sake of the others,
So
but so you can receive the reward of not going to a bad place.
so let me explain something to you about narcissism. I understand. I
You
understand that
know
you're
how
using.
contradicting that statement
No, no.
sounds?
I I
Yeah. Let's
understand.
just. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Describe
I
to an
don't.
INFP what
What?
narcissism
Like.
is.
So I have
Please
a
do.
problem with the use of the word narcissism. Okay,
All right.
because
Yeah.
whenever you
Define it as you define it, Joe. Like, just give us your definition. Yeah.
whenever you talk about narcissism, you're talking about narcissistic personality disorder, which is a medical condition.
Oh no, I'm
So,
not.
so,
I'm
so
not.
if you're
I'm
saying
not.
like narcissistic tendencies, if that's what you're saying, like
Look, the more you
the fact
study
Just.
it, the more you study it, the more you will understand that there is a spectrum
No, no,
Once,
I understand. There
once
are several indicators of narcissistic personality disorder. I get it.
if you
I
But
if
know
you
okay,
read
as well.
reaching
So,
the narcissistic personality disorder is the end of the spectrum. No, there's a little more after it, like becoming, a
oh,
killer
sure,
and psycho killer, right?
psychopathy.
There is
okay,
more, but
okay. Let's
before that, once you stop putting others, the benefit of others equal to yourself, which is exactly what Jesus asked us to do, and you put yourself above others, you've immediately specced into the rainbow, let me call it rainbow, no connection to anything else, but the spectrum of narcissistic behavior. Whether you're going to make it all the way to the end, now I don't know that.
Okay, so Achilles, what I'm getting is you're using that term sort of like colloquially, not really referring to necessarily the medical diagnosis that is
Yes,
involved in
I
what they call
consider that
narcissism.
the end of the spectrum, and
Okay,
in the example that we just had, if you are doing good deeds, so you can go to heaven and not go to hell, it is feigned but narcissistic.
yes,
So,
okay. So you're just using that as a definer, like a term, like a colloquial, like to define behaviors. Is that am I correct?
I see any action taken by individuals, whether it is self-driven or altruistic. If there are ulterior
I
motives,
think Joe's just tripping up on like the medical like use of
I
that
I
word.
agree.
don't like
Like,
using medical terms
I
to
yeah,
apply to
but I think he's
people when
using
we're not doctors.
colloquial. Yeah, no, but like
That's
the
we
why I
disorder,
all like
said
the
okay,
that I agree.
disorder gets into the book of the medical term, right? But if you knew the number of people which we can't know that are actually narcissistic, you'll see that it's like the vast majority. The reason we can't know, as psychiatrists are saying, is because nobody wakes up one day and says, I believe I am a narcissist, I have to go to the doctor. The only way we know about how many narcissists are through the victims of them, which are
Right.
wives,
But we don't
sisters.
get to
okay,
diagnose that. We do not get to
okay.
diagnose that.
What?
Yeah, I think there's just a difference opinion on medical diagnosis right here, but I
I
think
don't.
I understand that.
That's why I
Yeah,
don't like the use of the word, because then what you end up doing is you end up saying this person is narcissistic. You end up making that diagnosis by doing that, and I don't like that. Uh,
There's a difference between saying that person is a narcissist or they have a narcissistic disorder than saying they are narcissistic
well,
or their action was narcissistic. Or if you want another term, I understand your problem. Uh, an action having ulterior motives is not an action that relates to the other individual, it relates to yourself. You want to call it ego, you want to call it being self driven. That is the term I'm using as being not empathetic but narcissistic. It is, these are two opposing values. You cannot have them both.
yeah. So I'm
okay.
going to ask one final question, and then we can do some brief closings, and I'll send everybody over to Dave's channel. Um, my last question for you is: do you think that the events of the Bible, many of which we described here today, the actions of God, are were morally good?
Um, we can see them from our perspective and sometimes have issues and say, I don't think that's moral. But we got to remember to check out who we're talking about. Let's say I created uh, an ant colony and the ants are talking about me.
Yeah.
So I have different morals, deeper. I see the greater picture than the ants
What's
don't,
that called?
right? You see what I'm saying? So
That's
that's why
called moral
sometimes,
subjectivism or
I'm
moral
sorry,
relativism. Is
I'm
what that's
sorry,
called.
can you be clear on what you said because I didn't hear you?
That's
Yeah,
called moral relativism, which
let's
is
say
subjectivity.
let him
It,
finish his point though. Let him
yeah,
finish his
okay,
point.
sorry. I always do that. I'm sorry.
Right. The reason it's different, it is different because it is very easy for someone to say yes, what God instructed his people to do is not fair. But if you read what the other people were all about, God didn't want that kind of behavior on the world he created, and he wanted them wiped out. He warned them, and as he warned with Jonah, we read that he warned Nineveh, and Jonah was so certain that Nineveh would not get saved that he didn't want to go and preach. So when he ended up preaching, Nineveh just turned around. The problem there was, though, that a couple of prophets later, Nineveh turned back to its old ways and God did destroy it. So when we are talking about God's morality, we should be dipping our tongue, mouth, brain, hands in alcohol, holy water, in order to be able to reach the level of judging God's morality.
Okay, let's let Joe like respond to that. Okay, Achilles.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So I think you actually kind of make my case here. The You're not willing to agree that God is all good. Uh, there's a thing flying around. You're not willing to say that every action that God took was good, which you would have to do in order for God to be that objective moral giver. I don't know why.
I kind of do, though. I kind of do. Like, what you could say is
So we
that
have a different moral.
Achilles, are you actually saying that those people that God ordered that he wanted wiped out, they actually deserve to die? And I would say yes. So,
Okay,
So
let me clear this up. Achilles, do you think that every action that God takes is good?
yes.
that's what I was.
Or
Okay,
or
That
it
was my
will
question.
appear, it will appear to be good further down the line. It doesn't seem good at first. For example, I got saved through a lot of tribulations. It was
yeah, but
terrible.
I'm not talking about through our eyes though. I'm saying that an action that God takes is good because God did it. Is what I'm
It's
saying.
objectively true.
It's
God,
objectively
God's
good because
purpose,
God did it.
yes,
Whether we know it, yeah, whether we know its purpose or not.
God's purpose is for his children to get saved, and he wants all of them saved, even the bad students. So
Okay, all right.
sometimes the actions that he might take, for example, give someone cancer, might sound
Okay,
terrible to us, but that person might earn and change and go to heaven, which is where God wants them to be.
okay. That's what I was just trying to ask you.
Mike makes right.
whether we know the reason for something, God does nothing but good. Like there's a good, it's good because God did it. Is
So
that right?
yeah.
And then we're gonna let Joe respond.
So what he's saying is God's nature is goodness itself, and because God is good, whatever God does is good. Because there may be some reason for it. Um, that sounds like a really deep thing, I guess, but it's a circular argument. Whatever matches God's nature is what you say is good. So God is good. So it's not it doesn't tell us why suffering, harm, or love matter. It just labels God as the standard. And
No, it labels another world as the one mattering the most.
no,
So
what it
some
does,
actions, some actions taken on this world here might, according to the perspective of wanting to be in the world, might
no,
not look good. But when it comes to earning the other world, then you would be like, oh God, thank you for doing this.
No, what
Okay,
it
let's
does is
let's
it makes it excuse for
let
the
Joe make his
atrocity.
point. Let Joe
Sorry.
finish his point, though, Achilles. Okay,
All right.
What
let
it's
Joe.
doing is it's making excuses for the atrocities in the Bible, and then it's not solving that problem of that moral question. It just hides it behind your theology. You're not actually answering any question. You're making the circular argument as good as defined as whatever matches God's nature. So God is good, and everything God does is good. That's what's the is that what's the is that a tautology? Is that what that's called? I
I
believe it
do
is.
Tautology.
not even know that term.
I'm not positive. I just think that's the right word for that.
I have
And
a I have
it's
a
completely
short
circular.
I have a short
Okay, hold
question.
on. Are you done,
Uh,
Joe?
I'm done.
Okay, go ahead,
um,
Achilles.
so I want to ask the host. Wait a minute. This is TKH channel. Can we agree that the host is Robin for this
Yeah,
show?
yeah. Go ahead.
Right, like she's the
Let me be
balancing
Robin.
act. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, because I want to direct the question to you and not both. That's why. That's why I wanted to make
Okay.
that distinction. Nothing to do with ownership of the channel at all. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. You're good. Do it.
All right. So I would like you to tell me, dear Robin, how many times in my rebuttal or in my statement have I said you, TKA, are doing this, this is what you're doing, and what you're saying is this, and what you're actually doing is that. And then compare that to how many responses I received in my any philosophical assertion that I made, that was the response that I got. What you're doing right here is called this, and what you're doing right there is called that. I'm not sure this is how philosophy goes about. This is how ad hominems get like created, but that's just me.
So
Um,
here's.
well, like he asked, that was me. Remember?
Oh yeah, sorry. I got it.
um,
It's a rhetorical
yeah,
question. You really don't need to answer.
Yeah, it wasn't a question. It was a
but
statement.
I think
Rhetorical
that
question.
like I think that like what all I can say is that that's why I've been trying to moderate. So I've been trying to give you equal like time to answers and stuff.
No, it's good.
And
I'm just pointing something out. That doesn't mean that my opponent in quotes has been disrespectful. He hasn't. I'm just
okay,
pointing out like something in the way of approaching things. That's all.
So
yeah, this is a very emotional topic. Some points.
let's just
Yeah.
we'll take a few minutes. Do you want to have the last word here, Achilles? Is that technically I should
My
get it?
final statement is that I ain't ever gonna open up a lens of a camera in my life because I'm still working on it, and it just one click that just doesn't work, and I'm so tired. I've been invited out on that phone call. I'm gonna go out for some chipuro. I know you guys, you might not know what that is. Oh man, you have to. It's
I've seen
some
you before.
Oh man, it's people enjoy ouzo from Greece. I never liked ouzo. You have to try Chipolo. So there's gonna be food. There's gonna be some drinks. So I've had a great time here. I was actually now I'm very glad that I got here. I didn't even know where I was going. It was a great time. I want to thank you both.
Well,
Thank you,
no,
Achilles.
thank you for coming and on short notice and into a place where you knew people were going to disagree with you. I appreciate you coming and filling in and kind of saving a show here that we didn't really know what to do with because Joseph challenged me to a debate and wasn't able to make it. I don't know for what reason, and I'm not saying he did wrong. I'm just saying that's what happened. That being said, though, I do personally want to say a few words in closing about the conversation we've had, and I don't want to do that without giving you the opportunity to say something as well.
Okay.
Technically, it should be you saying something, and then I have the closing word since I started. But I think that in this situation, the way that we did it, it would probably be better if I just say what I have to say, and
Yep.
then you can respond to the conversation as a whole. And if you
Yep.
feel that way about the conversation that you were telling Robin, that's perfectly acceptable. I'm not going to be mad about that or anything. It is what it is. Um, so I think that what we've seen today in this conversation is that whenever you actually get into the question of does an objective moral code or objective moral values come from God, the thing that happens is then you have to look at the actions and things of that God. And as I described earlier in the Bible, there was a number of problems, but also taking the position that God is all good and therefore anything that God commands or says is an objective morality, that would put you in a problem to where I could say, well, we both agree that it's probably wrong to torture children, but if God says it's right to torture children, then you would have to accept it as morally correct. That's the position you put yourself in, and it forces you to then argue about things that in the Bible that condone slavery or again stoning women, killing children, wiping out whole tribes. And earlier when we talked about those tribes, said those people were guilty and evil and needed to go and all those things that God had said, but they kept some of those people, but they still killed newborn babies and pregnant women and all of that. They killed everyone. So there was no determination of who was good and bad. That's trying to skew the conversation into something else. The idea that an objective moral code exists could be argued through the lens of evolution, but not through God, because no matter what, whenever you say that it's God's mind or God decided or whatever, you're still just appealing to a subjective morality. So I don't think we made any progress on moving the needle on that conversation. But I do want to thank you for coming. I do want to thank Robin for moderating and everybody else in the chat that came and talked and asked questions and interacted with this. I think Nitty said he may review part of this debate. That's fine. Um, I look
Okay,
forward.
and Achilles Deviant said to please tell you that she's happy that you're going out with friends and say thank you for jumping in. You are a good sport.
Thank you, guys. And if you did enjoy this discussion, feel free to invite me anytime. If you feel like chilling, chatting, debating,
Yeah,
because it can't. I think we agree to disagree, and we can be respectful, and that I don't think it is so common these days. So if you ever feel like asking me back, I'm promising to join.
depends on the topic.
Thank
There you
you,
go.
Achilles. Go have fun.
Yeah,
Go have fun.
I'll win.
Go
I'll
have
win
fun.
on dirt bikes. We only know that one. Um,
Yeah.
you might win on lenses. I'm telling you that. So I do want to, though. Uh, I don't know how it's called formally, but I need to give a response to that closing statement.
You
Uh,
can go ahead.
I do think that uh, the reason the discussion got skewed is because in your introductory statements, it shows that there is it is not so much about philosophically addressing morality, but there is some issue with the existence of a creator that leaks through, and it strawmanned a couple of things quick, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which I tried addressing. One of them is the one you addressed again. The fact that God um, um, says that the virgins can be taken by you, Israel, but the babies are infected, they need to go, proves that it has nothing to do with morality, what happened there. But I understand that the atheist perspective loves this, and they love strawmanning it. But the truth is that there were some things that back then they didn't understand. We do understand them now, like pandemics. So that is the you should go into who the Ammonites were and what they were doing. and you might start suspecting why that happened. I don't think I am changing my morality, but as I told you before, staying loyal to the subject of this discussion, I think the existence of a creator, whether he is or he is not, creates objective morality. We cannot have it without him. And as I said at my kind of opening statement, is that we get the code, you get the right to disagree with that code. But at least we have something common to agree and disagree upon. Otherwise, all we have is I say and you say. At least with the existence of a God and some commandments of His, we can say we have a standard that some agree on, some don't agree on. Somebody can say it's fine to steal, it's fine to kill. You get that right, but at least you have a place that says don't do it. And when it comes to the places of the Bible that it has been instructed, people should look into the cases. There are not many, and they are very specific. Why?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Achilles.
So Dave has like 5 or 6 minutes of bullshit that goes on before his videos even start on Saturday. So we're fine. We're getting into the time to where I need to send everybody over because a lot of people here do take part in that. But again, thank you for coming, Achilles, and I would be more than happy to talk to you about any subject. If you go and I mean, I think that you would find most of my positions, especially on creationism, pretty similar to those of like R and Raw, maybe. Like he says it a lot better than I do, obviously. But so if there's ever any of those topics you want to talk about, just let me know and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, the difference is that Aaron Ra annoys me as a character. I like when
Yeah.
I'm next to him, like my brain boils.
He annoys
So,
me too, just to be clear.
but with you, it doesn't happen. So, yeah, don't
I,
think
I,
Thank
used
you.
to, I used to be the biggest R and Raw fanboy there was. Not so much these days, but
Yeah. Thank
but
you. Thank you, Achilles, for coming.
Thank
We
you, guys.
appreciate it so much.
Army.
And rub it in Joseph's face that you had to take his place.
so I'm going to send everybody over to Dave's channel now. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times, and you'll arrive there safely. Tell him that the Kentucky Atheist or Joe sent you over there. Thank you so much. I hope everyone here liked and subscribed and all that stuff. And we'll try and get some more of this stuff together or whatever for you guys to watch coming up. I've got some other people that have challenged me on various things, so we'll have some more discussions. And Achilles, you're welcome to come back and do it again anytime you want.
I'll do that.
Thank you. Catch Robin and I Wednesday at 1 p.m. for Politicality this week. Don't know who the guest will be. We'll see, but it'll be somebody you know, I'm sure. All right. So have a good day. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Thank you, guys.